oh, it sounds so snobbish, but I think I am a snob. We'll be optimistic and say that I am mature and I know my own tastes, and I'm just going to put back the things I don't like. Can one actually get turtlenecks to lay flat the way they're supposed to look in the movies? I don't think so. I don't think it's a thing. I think it's supposed to just be tactfully distressed. That's what we're gonna go with. Hey, hello, welcome back. I hope you're having a great day today. And if not, that your day goes better than it has been, or your night, you know? Okay, so I went through all the books that I read on the Goodreads summary that they send you at the end of the year. And I read a great many books, and only 4 of them were 5-star reads for me. And most of them, as I was scrolling through, I looked at and I went, I hated that book as I was reading it, and I wish that I had not read that book. And then I was curious, and so I just started scrolling through, going back the last 4 years that I have records of reading on Goodreads. And a lot of the books that I was looking at, I thought, the same things. Man, I didn't like that book as I was reading it. I knew at a certain point that I probably wasn't going to like this, and I just kept reading. I kept pushing through because I wanted to have the numbers. And I think that's dumb. So we're going to not approach things that way anymore. So I'm setting the goal for 2023 that I'm only going to have 4-star or 5-star reads. See, I say that out loud and then I'm like, do we really want to make that the goal? But yes, we do. Because there are literally billions of books at this point that are being published. Not all of them I can read because of those billions, maybe like half of that is in English. Maybe that's a little, maybe 4th in English. I don't know what the statistics are, but there are tons and tons of books. And it is ridiculous to think that of all those books that I am going to read, that I'm going to like them all, that I'm going to connect deeply on a soul level with all of them, or that I'm going to even want to read all of them. Like, statistically speaking, some of those books I'm going to hate. I'm going to hate the way the author writes it. I'm going to hate the plot. I'm going to hate the story, the characters, what have you. Like, that's just a statistical fact. And I sometimes treat reading as though I pick up the book, I'm now committed to this book, it and I are chained at the hip, chained at the brain, whatever, what have you, and I have to finish that book. And it's stupid because I then spend a whole ton of time reading books that I know that I'm not going to like. And scanning through all of the books that I was looking at, I was not wrong about any of the books that I thought I wasn't going to like. I think my tastes have finally matured to the point where I know what tropes I like, I know what tropes I don't like, and I'm not going to be surprised because there always comes a point in a novel, usually around the 25% novel, or the 25% mark to 35% mark in the audiobook, and it's around about the 70 to 90 page range if I'm reading it physically, where I think, okay, I'm bored, I don't care, I'm not interested. And at that point, I should put the book down. I should put the audiobook down. I should just stop caring about that novel. And I don't. Even though, statistically speaking, it makes a lot of sense to be like, I have all of these options, all the options in the world. I can just put this down and pick up a brand new, beautiful one. So we're going to just trust the intuition. We're going to trust that I know myself well enough to know what I like and what I don't like. And we're going to start putting things down. Now I say this, and I have been practicing it so far this year. I've already DNF'd one book. Look at me, doing so good. And it was really hard. It took me until 60% of the way in to DNF it. And it wasn't that I hate the book, and that's not the thing either. There are definitely books that I pick up that I think, yeah, I'm not finishing this because I know that I hate it. I will give this a 1 star. I'm not going to finish this. There's no value in me having finished this. There's no status. It's not a classic. There's nothing here other than it's just a number to add to my Goodreads goal. So A, set the Goodreads goal super, super low this year. 15 books. We can do that. No pressure whatsoever. Most of these books end up being a 2, 2.5, or 3 stars, meaning that it turned out okay. And I think we can do better because if we're publishing all of these books, there are so many options out there. There should be a way to parse out the ones that I do want to read and the ones that I really, really love and that I'm really, really passionate about. And I think the simple matter is if I think that a book is going to be 3 stars or less, I'm just going to put it down. Because it means that I'm like, It's okay. It's lukewarm water, and I don't want lukewarm water. I want things that I'm very passionate about. I want hot chocolate, okay? I want hot chocolate. I don't want warm chocolate. See, because warm chocolate, that's just gross. Nobody wants to drink warm chocolate. Everyone wants hot chocolate, okay? Anyway, back to the story of DNFing. So I DNF'd this book right here, Tailspin, and I have had one moment where I was like, gee, I wish. No, not I wish. I thought, I wonder what happened there. And then I Wikipedia'd it, and we're fine. But I knew it wasn't going to be a 4 or 5 star read, even though some of the other books from Sandra Brown that I have read, they have been a 5-star or 4-star read. There just wasn't anything here that I hadn't already read. I didn't like the trope. I didn't like the romance. There was no connection to me. So I put it down. And we're still living. We're still breathing. I'm mostly reassuring myself at this point. So I would have given it 3 stars, but instead it's just not going on the list at all for Goodreads because I don't count DNFs. Now, there is a chance that in my quest to only find 4 and 5-star reads, that I might put down a book that I probably would really love the ending of. But I'm willing to take that chance because I don't think it's going to be that frequent or that often. And I can always go back and reread the book if I am listening to somebody else talk about it and they're like, no, this was amazing. But I think what I would rather, and I've said this before, but I just haven't acted on it, I haven't done the thing. I need to, at the end of my life, be able to look back and say, these are the 100 books that I love, that are worn down, they're covered in tabs in my own writing, they are highlighted, I loved these, I memorized them, they're imprinted on my soul. As opposed to looking back and saying, wow, I read 3,000 books and I kind of mostly didn't like most of them. I don't want that to be the story. And so I'm going to be a lot more picky this year. And that sounds, it sounds so snobbish. But I think I am a snob. We'll be optimistic and say that I am mature and I know my own tastes. And I'm just going to put back the things I don't like. I'm a snob. I'm a book snob. Okay, I'm not going to say I'm not a snob. We're gonna say mature, but it's really, I don't know where that line crosses from maturity into snobbery. Like, I think it's a pretty gray line. It really is. So, okay, how are we gonna do this? Well, usually about by 25%. If the characters are being dumb, they're making choices I don't agree with for dumb reasons. If the writing does not appeal to me, it's not interesting to me, we're gonna just put it down. And it's not an offense to the author. It's not an offense to you if that's your favorite book. It mostly just means that it's not my cup of tea. Which is fine, because the only person perfectly compatible with you is yourself. And if I find a book that is fairly compatible with me, then I want to cling on to that and hold on to it and just nurse it like a very warm cup of hot chocolate. I think I'm craving hot chocolate. I think that's why we've done that metaphor twice now. That's where we're going after this video, I guess. I know some people set a goal of how many 5-star reads that they want to find. I don't know if I'm good enough about finding them yet to be able to set a goal. Like, I want to say, like, if we just said I'm going to find 10 5-star reads, so 10 out of the 15 books that I read, I want to be a 5-star read. But I think I don't want to put a number on it. I'm just going to say that the only books I'm going to read this year are 4 or 5 stars, with the exception, there are a couple exceptions to this. The first is, I don't think all the classics I'm going to read, I'm going to think are 4 or 5 stars. But I do think the experience and being able to talk about it, being able to understand the pop culture references, I do think that is important enough to finish those books, mostly. I still argue with myself on that one. And then the other one is that for my book club, I don't always like the books that we pick out, but I do think exposure to those books is good. I'm trying to think if there is a flaw here, because just being like, okay, well, if I just don't read all the books that I'm not going to like, then it means I have more time to read the books I am going to like. So this should be fail-proof, except for the part where I get really anxious about putting the books down. We're going to just ignore that part. But the rest of this should be fairly fail-proof, where I just find the new book and then I take as much time as I want to read it because I'm like, oh, I love this. I love how this all works together. So I don't see myself failing at this goal for 2023, but stay tuned. It could all end in flames. That's all I have. I will talk with you all in the comments down below and in another video. Bye!